To our dear honorable members, please allow the chair to deliver his opening remarks. Esteemed colleagues, to our senior deputy speaker, Congressman Dong Gonzales, our deputy speaker, Kong J.J. Suarez, to my co-chairs and vice chairs, guests and resource persons, ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. As we continue with our Quad-Comm hearing, we likewise continue with our quest for answers, for the truth, for justice, and for peaceful endings and closures to issues that plague our nation. We continue to hope for lasting solutions, as well so that the issues that now haunt us will never happen again. In our past hearings, we have established the following. First, syndicates flood our country with drugs in connivance with corrupt government employees and officials. To address this, a major bill is pending before us proposing important amendments to the Dangerous Drugs Act. Hopefully, Congress will pass it to law before the 19th Congress ends. Next, we have seen and heard how both the innocent and the guilty were summarily executed, all in the name of cleansing the country with drug personalities. Accounts vary and reliable reports are hard to get. Until now, vital documents have to be subpoenaed just so the truth can see the light of day. We will be patient. We will be steadfast in our resolve and make no mistake about it. Today, as we continue to probe the issue on the extrajudicial killings, we shall endeavor to pluck the truth from the pile of lies and make our case in order to give justice and peace to the souls of those who perished in the dark of night while the nation watched in fear and deadly silence. Nananawagan kami sa mga iba pang may nalalaman sa mga karumal-dumal na mga pangyayari kung saan naaabuso ng iilang na gamit ng mga kawani ng gobyerno ang kanilang kapangyarihan at saglit na nakalimot sa sinumpaang tungkulin na protektahan ang sambayanan sa mga kalaban ng batas. Narito po kami handang makinig sa inyong sasabihin. Sa mga nakalipas na pagdinig, ipinakita namin sa inyo na ang mga nagpapahayag ng mga testimonya ay pawang mga taong may direktang kaalaman o partisipasyon sa mga bagay-bagay na isinisiwalat dito. Wala pong chismis o marites na lumalabas dito. Wala pong mga hearsay. Lahat po ng inilalabas dito ay metikulosong hinihimay, sinisiyasat at sinisiguradong katotohanan at pawang katotohanan lamang. Wala pong pamumulitika dito sa investigasyong ito. When we started hearing the Mexico-Pampanga drug bust in 2023, we never thought that it would grow this big. What we hit was but the tip of the iceberg. Where this ends is a solution we are all prepared to face, yet dread. We have opened a Pandora's box, so to speak. There is no turning back, only courage to move forward. Ang inyo pong patuloy na interes sa panunood at pakikinig sa amin ang siyang nagbibigay ng lakas ng loob sa amin upang mapagpatuloy na hanapin ang katotohanan at maibalik ang katahimikan sa ating lipunan. Tulungan po ninyo kami para sa kapakanan nating lahat. Puksain natin ang iligal na droga na siyang salot na sumisira sa ating bayan at sa ating mga pamilya. Isumbong niyo po sa Quad-Comm ang mga pang-aabuso at pagmamalabis na nagaganap sa maling pagpapatupad ng mga batas. Kami po ay inyong kakampi at kasangga. Magandang umaga. Good morning to all our colleagues and to our resource persons as well. The next to deliver his opening remarks is our chair of the Committee on Human Rights, Congressman Benny Abante. You are recognized.
Sa atin pong Senior Deputy Speaker Dong Gonzales, sa ating Deputy Speaker J.J. Suarez, sa mga kasamahan kong Quad-Comm Co-Chair, Vice Chair, at sa atin pong mga pinagpipitagan ng mga kasama rito sa ating Kongreso. Magandang umaga sa inyo lahat. Thou shalt not kill. This is the seventh commandment of God, as written in the Bible, which is also the penal code of the nation of Israel in the Old Testament. And as I quote in Leviticus 24:17, whosoever takes a human life shall surely be put to death. End of quote. Deuteronomy 27:25, as I quote, cursed be anyone who takes a bribe to shed innocent blood. End of quote. And finally, in Genesis chapter 9, verses 5 to 6, and I quote, and for your lifeblood I will require a reckoning. This Quad-Comm is now the reckoning. From every beast I will require it, and from man. From his fellow man I will require a reckoning for the life of man. Whoever sheds the blood of man, by man shall his blood be shed, for God made man in his own image. Today's hearing of the Joint Committee will focus on the extrajudicial killings committed as a consequence of the anti-illegal drugs policy implemented under the administration of the former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. The Committee on Human Rights, prior to the creation of this Joint Committee, conducted a total of 6 hearings in aid of legislation to finally determine, after 8 long years, the truth behind the bloody drug war. The committee has endeavored to find out whether the fundamental rights to life, liberty, and property have been upheld, whether the state, as the primary duty bearer to promote, protect, and fulfill human rights obligation, has faithfully done its duties, and whether our domestic laws and international human rights laws, treaties, and conventions to which the Philippines is a state party have been fully and properly observed. The Philippine Constitution is very explicit as it states in Article 3, Section 1 of the Bill of Rights, and I quote, "No person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law." Without due process of law. May I repeat this? Without due process of law. Nor shall any person be denied the equal protection of the laws. End of quote. But this constitutional provision, my dear colleagues and friends, the very heart and soul of the Bill of Rights, was transgressed. Reported deaths and 345,216 arrested in police operations, as cited by the National Union of People's Lawyers to the report of Attorney Jose Manuel Jokno of Free Legal Assistance Group, stating unassailable data obtained from the Supreme Court and Bank extended resolution relative to the Almora versus Philippine National Police case GR 2343559-2017, which indicated that the Duterte administration's anti-drug campaign from July 1, 2016 to November 27, 2017 recorded a total of 20,322 deaths, or a daily average of 39.46 deaths. The 2017 year-end accomplishment report of the Duterte administration highlighted as key accomplishments the deaths of 3,967 drug personalities who died in anti-drug operations and 16,355 homicide cases under investigation as of 30 September 2017. Meanwhile, PNP spokesman Bernard Banach reported a total of 29,000 deaths probed, committed by perpetrators, both known and unknown, as of 06 March 2019. The testimonies of Chief Senior Superintendent Gerardo Padilla and the persons deprived of liberty, Andy Magdadado and Porto Tan, in the previous hearings have only affirmed that violent killings did not only occur outside the walls of prisons, but also within the jail premises. This representation, with all of my colleagues and my co-chairman in the Quad Committee, wish to push the inquiry further. I dare and call upon the families of victims to come out in the open and testify before this joint committee with unbridled courage and conviction, and help us pursue truth and justice for the sake of your children, parents, and spouses whom you have lost without due process of law or equal protection of the laws. Please allow us, your representatives in Congress, to help you seek justice for your loved ones in the most beneficent, humane, and lawful manner that we could. And I also believe that not only must laws be reviewed, amended, or enacted in this inquiry, but that Congress must be enabled to fully exercise its inherent oversight functions over the mandates, systems, and processes of the entire bureaucracy, and ensure that the human rights and dignity of our Filipino people are restored, respected, and preserved without any reservation. It is high time that we hold to account the perpetrators of those human rights violations and who have created a culture of impunity in what we may now describe as one of the darkest periods of our history. But in order to achieve this, we need the full cooperation and support of the victims and their families as we work relentlessly for the rule of law and a regime of truth, justice, and freedom. Nais ko pong ulitin ang binanggit ng ating lead chair tungkol sa pag-iimbita sa mga nakakaalam ng extrajudicial killings na ito dito sa Quad-Comm upang lalo nating mapaigi ang ating investigasyon. Maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat.
Thank you, Congressman Benny Abante. The next to deliver his opening remarks is the chair of the